Welcome to Discovery Kids Online. Now, we're in the New Testament looking at Holy Week. Here's what we've seen so far.
We have seen Jesus ride into town on a donkey.
Oh,
Yep,
yes,
that's right. That was a good story.
The religious leaders, they were trying to ask Jesus tricky questions.
Right?
Yeah, and then Jesus tossed those money changers right out of the temple.
yes,
right.
that happened.
The Last Supper.
And we saw Judas betray Jesus.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Guys,
Yeah.
y'all are really good.
Thank you.
Now, the last we saw Jesus, he was allowing himself to be arrested. Shall we finish up Holy Week?
Holy Week. From Good Friday
To Easter morning.
From the book of Matthew.
After they arrested Jesus in the garden, they took him to Caiaphas, the high priest. The religious leaders were looking for false evidence against Jesus.
False evidence? Why false evidence?
Because Jesus never did anything wrong.
Oh. Are you the Messiah, the Son of God?
Yes, I am.
He has spoken blasphemy.
He is worthy of death. Wait, can they put Jesus to death?
No, because the Jewish people weren't in charge.
So, now what?
Well, now they're going to take Jesus to the Romans.
The religious leaders handed Jesus over to Pilate, the Roman governor.
You may go. Are you the king of the Jews?
Yes.
Then Pilate asked him more questions, but Jesus remained silent. Now, it was the governor's custom at the festival to release a prisoner chosen by the people. At that time, they had a prisoner named Barabbas. Pilate asked the people,
Which one do you want me to release? Barabbas or Jesus?
Barabbas!
Well, what shall I do with Jesus?
Crucify him!
Why? What has he done?
Crucify him! Crucify him!
Pilate had Jesus beaten.
They put a scarlet robe on his back and a crown of thorns on his head.
They knelt in front of him and mocked him.
Hail, King of the Jews!
Then they nailed Jesus to a cross.
Above his head, they hung a sign that said, "This is Jesus."
The King of the Jews.
Those who passed by the cross hurled insults at Jesus.
Come down from that cross.
If you are the Son of God.
Even religious leaders mocked him.
He saved others.
But he can't save himself.
Darkness covered the land. And Jesus cried out.
My God, why have you forsaken me?
Jesus cried out again. Then he gave up his spirit
And died.
At that moment, the curtain in the temple tore from top to bottom.
And the earth shook. Whoa!
A centurion nearby said,
Surely this man was the Son of God.
They took Jesus' body down from the cross.
wrapped it in cloth, and placed it in a tomb cut into a rock.
Then a large stone was rolled in front of the entrance.
and guards were stationed in front of it.
Early in the morning on the third day, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to the tomb. There was a violent earthquake. An angel of the Lord came down from heaven.
He rolled back the stone and sat on it.
His appearance was like lightning, and his robes were as white as snow.
And the guards, they were so afraid, they fainted.
I mean, do not be afraid. I know you are looking for Jesus. He is risen. just as he said he would. Now, go quickly and tell the disciples.
The women hurried away from the tomb,
Afraid, yet filled with joy.
and they ran to tell the disciples. Get going, girls. Suddenly, Jesus was there.
Where?
Greetings. Oh, do not be afraid. Go to my disciples and tell them to go to Galilee. There they will see me.
We will.
On Good Friday, Jesus died on the cross.
On Saturday, Jesus was in the tomb.
But on Easter, God raised Jesus from the dead.
Jesus was alive.
And
Jesus is alive today.
the
End.
Jesus came to give his life.
Jesus died for sin, our sin.
And yet, he didn't stay dead.
God raised him from the dead.
And because of Jesus' death and resurrection, we have a way to have our sins forgiven.
A way to be made right with God. We have salvation.
Oh, yeah.
Now take a minute and answer this question. Thanks for joining us. And while you're here, spend some time worshiping God with our worship videos or check out some of our other Bible story videos. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
After they arrested Jesus in the garden,
Good start, guys. Yep.